What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. My name is TimProVision. We are back with another 5-minute weapon guide video. We did the R99 back at the end of Season 7, and you guys seem to like that one pretty well, so I figured we would do a 5-minute Wingman guide this time. The Wingman is one of the more popular weapons in the game. It's kind of like a classic right now. It may not be the most cracked weapon out there, but if you are a good Wingman player, there honestly might not be too much to stop you because the Wingman is an absolutely insane weapon. So today we're going to go over a few tips just to how to use the Wingman a little bit more efficiently, what you should be doing, how you should be aiming it, that kind of thing. There's not a whole lot really when it comes to the Wingman. It really just comes down to your raw aiming skill and ability. However, there are a few things I think I can help you out with, and we are going to go over those today. The very first thing to know is that the Wingman requires a little bit more patience, but maybe not quite what you're thinking. This doesn't mean you need to be, lining up every individual shot and popping it one at a time. This really comes down to you need to have some patience for that first shot. And this is the first big tip I want to give you. The first shot on the Wingman is absolutely critical that you are lined up on them and you are getting that first shot hit. I find often, and not even just with the Wingman, with a lot of the guns in Apex Legends, if you're missing your first shot, you're probably going to end up missing a few more shots down the line because you're going to have to correct. You might overcorrect, then you're going to miss your second, maybe your third, and by the time you're hitting your fourth or fifth shot, you only got 3 or 4 shots in the mag, which is pretty huge when it comes to the Wingman since you will only have somewhere between 6 and 9 shots to shoot at an enemy. So that is my first big tip. Make sure your first shot is on point. Don't miss it. Don't overthink it too much. Just make sure you're hitting your first shot. You want to start off on the right foot, not on the wrong foot. The other big thing is that if you're missing 1 or 2 or 3 bullets with the Wingman, you're missing upwards of 100 damage maybe if you're missing 2 to 3 shots. Whereas if you're missing 2 bullets on like an R99, you're only missing 20 damage worth of damage, and you got another 18 to 20 shots, that you're going to be able to shoot. So you do want to try to minimize your errors or your misses with the Wingman. Missing 1 bullet with the Wingman is a lot more important than missing 1 bullet with an R99 or any other spray weapon really. And while it doesn't matter too much, I will say the Wingman skins that you're putting on the weapon do matter a little bit. You definitely want to be using some skins over the other ones. Any of the default purple or lower skins are not going to be too good. There's a few good gold skins that you can buy with crafting materials, and I would definitely recommend picking up one of these skins. They have just a much thinner profile when you're aiming down sights, and it does allow you to track the enemies a little bit better because you aren't blocking as much of your screen. It does seem kind of silly, but it absolutely does matter, and you should be picking up one of these skins if you don't have any of the other skins that maybe you got from a battle pass during a previous update. For me personally, I use the Season 4, I think it was, Season 3 Wingman skin that you could unlock at level 100. I know that a lot of you might not have access to this, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. Make sure you're using a little thinner skin. For aim training, I do a couple things in the firing range. For starters, I practice my strafe aim. This means I'm going to be aiming while only strafing left and right on the signs at close range, and then I will start to rotate to actually aiming just without moving. What this does is this tests my ability to strafe properly and shoot, and then this also tests my ability to just aim and have that raw aiming ability take over for me. And then after I do both of these separately, I will then start to link them together and doing them at the same time. Just doing this is a great way to kind of get the feel for the weapon, get a feel for your movement, make sure you're hitting your targets. And you don't need to be overly specific with how you're hitting these big signs. You can just hit them generically. You don't need to be super accurate when you're doing this. This is just to get you warmed up before you go into a game. After I hit these close range targets strafing, I then move to a little bit further range targets. I'm starting to shoot the signs way in the back. For me, the Wingman is actually more of a medium range weapon than just a close range weapon. It sounds a little bit weird because it's a pistol. The farther you can extend your Wingman's optimal range, meaning you can control your shots and hit your shots at further ranges, means you're just extending your overall power. I like to run the R99 with the Wingman, which means the Wingman is my medium range gun again. I definitely would practice a little bit at your further range aim training in the firing range. And I do this very similar to my strafe and just raw aiming. I'm just tap firing at the targets at further ranges. What I kind of like to do is shoot the individual standing targets and then bop back and forth between the individual not moving target and the slide targets. This way I'm kind of popping back and forth between the 2 different areas, and this makes my aim be a little bit more lucid. I'm not being too static in my aiming ability, just hitting something that's not moving. After I'm done with the signs, I'm just going to take a step back, and then I'm going to take a look at the dummy bots. I'm going to pop back and forth between the dummy bots. This gives me a little bit more fine-tuned target to aim at and a little bit more accurate of a shot that I need to be doing here. It's okay to miss some shots, but again, try to take your time and hit as many shots as possible. One big thing about the Wingman to note is that if you're not rapidly shooting through your clip, you're kind of not doing it right. And hear me out, if you're not rapidly shooting your clip, you are going to have a really low time to kill, which is what you do not want to have. If an R301 is spraying you down or R99 is spraying you down, you could die in as fast as 1 to 1.25 seconds. So if you're not rapidly spraying your wingman shots at someone in close range, and if you're in a fight, you're not going to beat them. It's just how it is if they hit your shots and you aren't shooting fast enough. After the dummy bots, what I'll then just do for the final thing is I'll slide back and forth right in front of them, kind of do like a jump slide and then shoot at the bots, try to get a couple shots on them. This way I'm just kind of simulating maybe a little bit more of a battle type scenario where I am moving and shooting targets at the same time. And after this, I'm pretty much done with my aim training with the wingman. Firing range and aim training is a good thing to do, but it is no substitution for the real deal, and you absolutely want to be in game more times than not. If you're spending 30 minutes in the firing range and then you're playing an hour in like actual games, in my opinion, this is a waste. You're not going to be improving too much. You definitely want to kind of learn your game sense, map positioning, all that stuff, and you're not going to learn that without going into the game. Even though you might be getting a little bit more wingman time while you're in firing range, you're not learning as much of the other stuff with the game. So again, I don't really recommend spending too much time in the firing range, maybe 3 to 5 minutes, no more than this. And of course, if you're only playing for like 30 minutes to an hour, just skip the firing range. I really only do firing range practice when I'm playing for like 2, 3, 4 hours or more. And that is pretty much it for the wingman, guys. There's not a whole lot to it. There's really just nothing you can do other than get that in-game practice with the wingman. You can kind of minimize some of your errors and get yourself warmed up in the firing range. The firing range, my way, is a way to get myself from 0 to 90%, meaning I'm 0, I didn't play at all today, and then I get 90% of the way there with my shots, and then I'm doing that final 10% of practice in-game. It's just a good way to get me set and to get me centered. I get the feel for the gun when I'm in the firing range. I get the feel of how it's going to shoot when I hit targets, when I hit shots, when I'm hitting at range. And all that is just about getting me warmed up for the game, not the real deal, of course. If you guys have any more questions about the wingman, or if you want to see me do this with another gun, we've now done the R99 and the wingman, well, let me know in the comments down below. I am so excited for Apex Legends Legacy. I got to play it early, and I cannot wait to share more on that. If you guys want to hear some more, join the Discord or swing on by the Twitch streams. I would love to chat about Apex Legends Legacy with you. It's been killing me to hold all this in. I'm so happy we can finally talk about it. And guys, I will see you in the next video. Peace out.